Hello everybody, this is Scooby here and welcome to a new video. So today in this video, I'm going to be talking about the Golden State Warriors. So basically, right now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, we're going to be talking about how Kevin Durant's injury affects the Golden State Warriors. So right now, Kevin Durant is going to be out with a grade, he's out indefinitely, which means he's out with a grade 2 MCL sprain and a bone bruise from Zaza falling onto his knee. If you don't know how this happened, they were in the Wizards game on the last day of February 2017. Zaza got pushed, fell into Durant's knee. Durant started hobbling off. I thought they said hyperextended, which it was hyperextended. It just wasn't what their definition of hyperextended meant for Draymond. So, what they did, I thought it was going to be out for 1 or 2 games. So, they were going to sign Jose from the Lakers for $415,000 because he took that cut to be signed with the Warriors so he get out quicker. But the Warriors couldn't do that. Like, they couldn't pay him off. So basically what they did was they want to be a franchise that is recognized for their honest agreement. So basically, they just did the same. They just paid him $415,000, and he was a Warriors for 2 hours. They made uniforms for him to keep and everything. And now he's being scouted by the Atlanta Hawks now. So that's pretty good for him. So what does this mean for the Golden State Warriors in the finals? So right now, let's talk about the next upcoming games. So for the Knicks, so they lost against the Bulls and the Wizards. So their streak of not losing consecutive games is gone because Curry and Clay is ice cold. I mean, Curry's point per game is going to go back up to maybe like his MVP from 3 points because he scored 25 or 23 points the other night. That's his average. So his assist totals are going to go up because he tries to spread the ball. But they signed Matt Barnes in the wake of KD's injury. But it's only which is going to be good because he's going to be reevaluated around March 28th, March 29th, March 30th. So that's pretty good. So Matt Barnes, he turned the ball over a lot and did not play D that good. That's why you have to pay him at 36 for him. He's going to be signed for the rest of the season. Once KD comes back, his minutes are going to be like cut down, like maybe get sent back to the D League with Damian Jones or something stupid like that. So this is not the current standings. This is my league standings, and of course we're in the top because the Denver Nuggets. So basically, right now in the 8th seed, we have the Denver Nuggets. So I'm going to be talking about the playoff future for the Warriors. So right now, I'm going to be talking about can the Warriors still win it if they fall off the 1 seed. So right now, the Warriors are not the favorites for the NBA title like they were in the beginning of the season. So if they lose the NBA title, I think we're okay. We'll just have to try again next year. Kevin Durant said in a post-game interview one time that he wants to re-sign with Golden State in the summer. He feels not great having a contract. Like, he has a contract for next year. He just doesn't know if he wants to get more money with it. So right now, this is how the new NBA rule works. It's the new CBA rule. A player has to get MVP, an All-NBA onto an All-NBA team, or another Defense Player of the Year award in this year to get the new CBA rule, which gives them $13 extra million per player per year, which doesn't affect the team salary cap. So right now, Curry is most likely going to go on the NBA team, All-NBA team, for point guards. The only problem is if KD can, because Paul George is in the spot for his lineup right now. So if KD doesn't return before the end of the year, they can't re-sign him. But I'm sure this is what's going to happen. I'm sure KD felt like they were doing good until that injury. If KD just thinks about it and says, if I really think about this, if me and Curry come back next year, we have a chance of winning the finals again if we're all healthy. So I think if he'll get extra $3 million next year. So what I'm saying is, if he maybe if he doesn't, like, he says he has a player option right now, but in post-game interview he says he feels unsafe about he might resign next year. He's just he's unsettled about his contract ending after that year. But I'm saying maybe if once they get that done, Curry signs for the next 5 years because that's the new CBA rule. They sign Durant for the next 3 years, and then they can go from there. So basically, right now, do I think they'll win against the Knicks? Of course, maybe, hopefully. Atlanta Hawks, maybe. The only problem is they won't win without another injury. The Boston Celtics, I think that's gonna be some problems. 76ers, yeah. The Timberwolves, yeah. The Spurs, it's gonna be a battle. The Magic, yeah. Bucks, yeah. Thunder, yeah. Mavericks, yeah. Sacramento Kings, yeah. Especially because Matt Barnes is gonna want to go punch you in the face for trading away for that bogus trade for Buddy Hield for DeMarcus Cousins. You're stupid in your organization. So Grizzlies, that's gonna be a really, really hard game to win. The Rockets, yeah, no. The Spurs, maybe. Rockets, maybe. So right now, if the Warriors finish first, we have 2 minutes left. If the Warriors finish first this year, they'll have the first seed. People are saying that Durant is expected to return for the playoffs, right? Steve Kerr has this mentality of he wants to rest players until they're fully injured, even though there are already. LeBron's the defensive player of the year for that block that he did in the finals 2 years ago. See, Curry's on the All-NBA 13. I'm sure he'll get onto one of those. So, the Warriors finish first. I think, so basically, if this is what I think is going to happen. So, if this is what I think will happen. First of all, if, I can't explain this, but if the Warriors get the first seed, because San Antonio is 3 games behind them right now, the Warriors still keep the 13, which is going to be hard because they have to go against 4 other teams that are within their range of hitting them right now. If they lose to those 4 games, the San Antonio takes the next spot. Greg Popovich, I'm wondering, I was watching the NBA, and I was watching the NBA this morning, and they were saying how they think that that Greg Popovich might rest the players, because last 2 years ago, when the Golden State won the thing, they were so close to beating them. It's just that they one of the things, they just fell out of the finals because they played that last game, and they lost it. So they were saying how Greg Popovich probably remember that in the back of his mind, saying we need to rest our players, the star players. Steve Kerr said this. Remember that. On the road trip, I'm not gonna rest my players on the road trip. I'm gonna rest my players on some of the easier games, and I'm gonna rest my players on some of the easier games. So basically, I'm gonna rest my players on some of the easier games, so we don't have to worry about losing to the top spot. Yeah, and then they're gonna sign that guy from the Lakers, which is really known for his scoring ability. And then of course, KD gets injured by That's fucking hit. So we gotta worry about that. So basically, what does that mean for them now? Listen, the Warriors had to sign Matt Barnes. He wants to get the number 1 spot because if KD is expected, he's gonna get reevaluated in 4 weeks. So by March 28th, March 29th. So that means once he gets reevaluated, if he can play, Coach Kerr is gonna say, you know what, KD, take another maybe a week. Because there's only 6 weeks of the season left, 5 weeks now. He's going to be reevaluated 3 weeks now. I'm making this video because it was like a week ago. And I just can't get the audio to work on this thing. So, KD is set to be reevaluated in 3 weeks, and the NBA ends in 5 weeks. We just finished the third out of fourth part of the NBA. So, why do I think that... Oh, Steph Curry can rebound. So, why do I think that they can, get the first spot? Well, first of all, I think they can get the first spot because, if you really think about it, they have that fighting mentality. They lost 2 games in a row. That's not good for the Warriors. They only lost 1 game in a row. So what they're gonna Curry and do, once they get home to Oracle, I think their, shooting slump is gonna stop. I mean, Curry's doing good. Once he misses 11 a game, the other day in Philly when I was there, Once he missed 11 in a row, and he found out just drive into the paint, draw the fouls, do those reverse kind of funny layup dunks, and then shoot threes when you have a high score. I think that's what they're going to do, but Clay needs to realize that too, because Clay was 1 of 13 versus the Bulls. How are you 1 of 13? They combined for 1 of 30 of 22 the other night, and Curry was those two. How in the world do you do that, though? So basically, if they get the first spot, I'm sure Kerr has his mentality to rest his players as much as he can. So he's gonna want to rest KD. So KD is gonna have to do rehab after he gets back, like how he's gonna have to walk, run, jump, block, get back to shooting drills with people covering. So he's gonna be out for a little bit longer. So even if he's coming back in 4 weeks, if he comes back in 4 weeks, if we're talking realistically, I think he's gonna come back in 4 more weeks. So he's set to have a reevaluation. 3 weeks, I think 4 more weeks, and we'll be back. So by the end of March, I think he'll be playing. By like the game after Wizards will be back, because I'm sure they don't want him in that physical game, because there was plenty of injuries in the Wizards game, but none of them were as severe as Durant. Livingston had a sprained ankle, but he was okay to play. Curry got the wind knocked out of him a lot. He got knocked out the wind a little bit, and then he got a technical for getting a delay of the game, which was stupid because I don't even know how he did. So basically, what happened was he went up for a layup, got pushed down, and laid there for like a good 2 minutes. We were all scared when that happened. So basically, what do I think will happen next? Do I think they'll get the first seed? So if they get the first seed, KD's not going to be 100% right when he comes back. He's going to be like 80, 70% maybe. He's still going to average more than 20 points per game. I think his points per game is going to drop down a little bit. Maybe Curry will go up a little bit. The only problem is the Warriors have to adjust without KD right now. So that means they have to... I think Curry's going to say something to them like, when KD was here, how he passed the ball a lot to get those 35 assists per game and more. I think he's going to say, well, remember last year when we got like 20 assists per game? And Curry and Clay and Draymond were on fire, and then the rest of the bench would average like 10 points per game. I want that to happen more right now. I don't want... You can pass the ball a lot, but just don't pass it too much because we're causing a lot of turnovers. Those assists are not really getting passing them to bad players. Not bad players, but bad spots that the players are in. And they have to force the thing up because the shot clock, like that one where Curry got rejected on a layup. He ran out to the 3-point line, and then he did a fadeaway 2-pointer. That was the best. Basically, if they get the first, so first of all, the Warriors and the Spurs, they're worried about facing the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies are a good team. They can beat the Warriors with KD. They didn't beat them one time with KD. So now KD's not in the game anymore. He's out indefinitely until further notice, which is going to be, he's expected to return before the playoffs. But if we're realistically speaking, even though he's set to return, I said 5 weeks. So let's go back to when he got injured on the 28th. I said he'll be out for 4 weeks, at the least. But realistically speaking, 5 weeks. But he'll be able to play in 5 weeks, but I don't think he'll play. I think Kurz will say to himself, we need the rest of my players to be healthy if we get the first seed. Now, if we get the first seed, I mean, if San Antonio is 1 game in front of us, if San Antonio is like 1 game in front of us, he's gonna play his players, all of them, because he needs that first seed. Because he'll face an 8th spot team, and then maybe once they get that first seed, he'll say to KD, you know what, you could rest for the first seed, and we'll call you when we'll need you or something, because the first seed, you first the 8th conference. So if the Warriors are going against the Denver Nuggets, everybody thinks they can go against the 8th seed, but if they go against the 7th seed, they can't do it. I actually believe that too. They need that first seed, and KD will rest. If they get the 2nd seed, KD will play. So if they get the first seed, KD will return. Even if KD is not able to return, he'll return definitely before the 2nd round. They said. So basically, that's all I wanted to say, really. But usually, sometimes when you get injured in NBA games, since you're an NBA player, they have like all that stuff in the arena. But when you're in a visitors, they don't have like an MRI scan in there. MRI machine, because that's like a money buy. So he went to the hospital, in Chicago because he actually flew with the team in Chicago. And then he left to Oakland after the MRI, and he was seen in a wheelchair. So he's doing the Paul Pierce thing. Maybe it's not that bad. Because remember Paul Pierce's injury, and then he came back for the next game of the finals with a broken neck. So basically, what I think is what will happen is sometimes hospitals tell you it's worse than what it really is. Like sometimes when I broke my ankle recently, they said that 4 to 6 weeks to heal. It was only 3, but it took like 4 weeks for it to stop hurting, like swelling up after you would play like intensely. Now it's fine. It's been 5 weeks, 4 weeks now. I think it's been like a month. Yeah, around about a month and a week. So 4 or 5 weeks. So what I think will happen to Durant is he'll come back if they get past the first round. If they get the first seed, and it depends on who their opponent is, he'll say, you know what, Durant, if we get to our 4th game and we haven't swept the team yet, let's say this. So if they win the first game, Warriors win the first game, they lose the second, or lose the third, he's gonna put Durant back in. Because the Warriors' mentality, they didn't. Basically, last year the Warriors were favorites for the finals because they won 73-9, and they wanted to defend their thing. Guess what? They lost it. Usually, in every sport, when you say that you know who's gonna win, you're gonna lose. That's how it went. Like the Super Bowl, they said Hawks were gonna win it. They lost. They blew a 3-1 lead. They got 31 unanswered points. 3-1. So basically, what I think will happen is the Cavaliers are the title favorites. That's gonna put a lot of pressure on them. But if we can make it to the finals without Durant, we can't win it. They have Bogut. First of all, what I think should have happened when Durant got injured is the Warriors should have went for Bogut. Even when Durant was in, they knew an injury like this could have happened. They should have just went for Bogut. They need a rim protector now. We can't have Matt Barnes double team the worst player on the other team with double teaming with Curry, a point guard, when you have a small forward out on the wing that shot a 3 because you weren't guarding them, and you turned the ball over like 5 times by passes. That's the only reason why you got 2 points. You only get past the ball like 3 times that game because you don't know how to control yourself. So basically what I think will happen is they'll get the 1st seed, 2nd seed. Durant will end up playing at the end of the season. I say 5 weeks. He might sit out to the playoffs. I think the Warriors will still win the finals because usually whenever your playoff prediction, your finals prediction is always wrong. It's always the other team because that happened to the Atlanta Falcons. I think it's called the Falcons in the Super Bowl. The Patriots still ended up winning even though they were the favorites, the Falcons. So basically, I think that's what will happen to the Cavaliers too. They'll just have too much pressure on them, defending champions. They also have Kevin Love injured right now, but that's not proving a big deal to them. I mean, they're still losing games, but not as much. I mean, it's only been 2 games since Kevin Durant got injured, and we lost this too. Kevin Love got injured. They only lost 2-3 games by now. He's out. Kevin Love was out on the 15th, got a surgery, so they said 6 to 8 weeks. Kevin Durant is 4 to 6 weeks. Usually those type of injuries take 4 to 6 weeks. But when you're a basketball player, if you just heal it right, which they always help you out, because you have a certain, I'm just joking, in a basketball house, but usually you don't, help you out. So I just wanted to let you know what my thoughts on the KD injury. Sorry this video was like 20 minutes long. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!